Spoilers ahead for Knock at the Cabin 2023. While vacationing, a girl and her parents are taken hostage by armed strangers who demand that the family make a choice to avert the apocalypse. One thing off the top that I really enjoy about this movie is that they get right into it.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of dicking around before it. Like, the little girl...
I'm sure those guys are doing some of that.
Yeah. She's out there catching bugs, and then Batista walks up. Like,
what's up?
We're into it. And he doesn't go away. More people, his cronies come through, and then they're knocking at the cabin. My only problem with that is that they didn't say the title of the movie in any of the dialogue, which is a big miss.
Yeah. Yeah, that's they should have had like the little girl say it. They're knocking at the cabin door.
Did you find this movie to be boring?
Yeah. They were trying to build up tension, but the tension points just came and went and made you not care about the tension. And everything happens off screen or in a great distance.
Yep.
Or on a TV. All the action's on a TV.
The backstory of the two dads in the movie really took me out of it. It's like, I don't care that your parents hated that you were gay or you got into a fist fight because you thought the guy thought you were gay or something at the bar. I mean, he did smash you with a bottle, so, good on you for fighting back. It was
for context, like, how loud were they being? Like,
yeah.
I mean, was this bachelorette party level noise? Probably not, seeing as how the game came back and hit them if they were talking at normal volume. If you're going to make a movie about, like, mistreatment, you got to, like, dedicate some time to it. If the character starts off being mad at Leonard for being, I guess, homophobic, I'm really kind of on Leonard's side in the moment. I mean, don't ask me why a guy that jacked is the second grade teacher. Could you imagine if you went to parent-teacher attendance and just like fucking Batista there?
Got tattoos all the way down to his fingertips, jacked.
I mean, tattoos from fingertips to earlobes. Hello, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Your son is a pleasure to teach.
Are you sure you wanted to talk about the grade I gave your son? It's like, nope,
I know his grades have not been great, but I think it's part of his development to overcome adversity.
Jonathan Groff's character, he's one of the gay dads. He spends a lot of time trying to force homophobia into this movie. Like, a lot of people...
Well, I mean, it's understandable that he would have the reaction. Like, not long ago, he was in the hospital with like a beer bottle sticking out of his head. Even the guy who's like, really angsty, doesn't actually say anything even sort of homophobic.
The guy that smashed him with the beer bottle, was he talking about gays or whatever?
No, he doesn't actually say that.
No.
But it's also like the bar was full of people. It's too big a coincidence to just say, oh, yeah, he probably hit them because he didn't like them for non-gay reasons. So the movie is not about the four people being homophobic. It's about him dealing with a world that has thrown homophobia at him.
Uh-huh.
And he's reacting to it, and it's stopping the apocalypse from being stopped. He had to deal with his distrust of humanity to save the world from God.
Oh, that's why. Yeah, okay. I'm in.
It starts off, and it could very easily just be people with people who watch the news being psychos. But then, like, a million planes fall out of the ground. Like, there's no middle ground. It's like obvious scam, obvious scam, obvious scam. Oh, the planes are falling down around us. Holy shit. I guess I should have believed the 450-pound steroid-using second grade teacher.
Why would you bring a gun with you and leave it in the car? That's my next question.
Either the gun's in a safe and it's fine, or it's not fine. Like, why would you have the gun unloaded? Oh, you can't kill yourself if the bullets are loose. Like, you only need one in the chamber to, like, ruin your own day. You need a clip to ruin someone else's day.
So the whole premise is these four people come knocking at the cabin, and one of the three people has to die. The two dads or the adopted daughter have to die.
Yeah. I spent the whole movie thinking they were going to kill the little girl.
Wouldn't you? That's what I would have done. I'm serious. They adopted this girl,
Yeah.
Just buy another one.
Just buy another one.
Let us know in the comments. Are you killing your orphan child, or are you killing your spouse, or letting your spouse kill you to save the world, or are you just not believing anything these people are saying? After each member of the crew dies, Batista
at the beginning, let's remember that one of the guys loses a melee fight to let me check my note here, a nurse. I guess when someone's breaking into your house, maybe put on some shoes for your fight on the hardwood floor. Don't try that one in your wool socks. They have this weird this whole thing where they explain it to them. And like they introduce themselves, and it was so weird because like they're not going to believe you. Dale knows they're not going to believe him, but he still goes through with it of like explaining things. But like they don't predict the apocalypse. Like they had the visions, right? So they should have been able to predict the apocalypse a bit more accurately, and they should have been able to do it with live television, which is why I thought it was. If I hadn't known it was a Shamalama Ding Dong movie, I would have said this is an obvious scam. But since it was, I'm like, well, since it seems to be fake, it must be real, which is how his shit goes. But like the news is like they're so vague about what's gonna happen. The seas will rise. No, be specific. The seas did not rise. There was a tsunami. The water is always the same level. It's higher at the wave part. It's their vision, and they're telling it like they're in the Revelations book, not just like some guy.
So what happens is Batista, as the movie progresses, he's like the main leader. So he kills the southern guy, and then shows on TV that the big tsunamis are crashing onto the island.
Oh, and the kill happens off screen. Like they spend like a full minute with that mask on his head, and he's like, and he's like, really hyping to die. Like this is gonna be intense, and then like they just cut away to like a bird or some shit like that. Yeah. It was like a sitcom love scene from the 90s. Like, they're kissing off screen. Like, either do a murder or don't do a murder, you pansies.
Right, and this movie's rated R, so what's the problem here?
All the tension when they just cut away, I'm like, it's dead. Like they just drag him away. There's the implication of some blood, but it was probably just ketchup that they brushed on with like a barbecue grill or something like that. And I was like, that was when the tension died. I'm like, they're not really doing anything here. It doesn't feel dead. He's just off screen.
And he does the same thing to the first girl, and she
basically COVID 2023 happens in like 12 minutes. And so like there's a disease that isn't killing people, and then she dies and everyone starts dying. But again, like the CNN video is on a loop, so it's like old video, right? Like the angry gay guy is constantly saying, look, they're looking at their watches, this is all on tape, and no one's like, oh no, it's actually real time. Like they don't even try to push back on that. Yeah, so the disease was like vague. They just had like clips from, I don't know, probably like a pandemic movie going on. That's all I remember from her death.
The angry gay guy finally gets the gun, and he ends up shooting the second chick, who then releases the third plague, I guess we can call it, because they're related to the four horsemen of the apocalypse for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And planes start falling out of the sky. Just randomly, all the planes.
All the planes fall at once, yep.
And just crashing to Earth.
This is real because they see a plane fall out of the sky out where they're at. Because there's always a plane nearby.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Go outside. There's a plane right now. It's staring at you. It's looking in the window. What's that plane want? We don't know. Just ignore it.
It's a cabin next to the airport.
Every cabin has an airplane just staring in the window at all times.
Yeah, it falls like 200 yards from the cabin.
And it's clearly like a plastic plane. Like you can hear the guy going.
Then the final death is Batista. Well, it's the second to last death. Kills himself to, I guess, start the timer of, I guess the world's going into darkness, and if you don't kill your husband, then whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I like the concept. I like, trying to like have the family and then force like the choice on them. I think they kind of washed it out. It's like, okay, well, we decided we're going to have this like really tight idea that we're going to do, but also like we need to put like a social issue in here. All that stuff, about a third of the movie is jammed in there with a plunger in the hopes that your uncle will post something about it on Facebook. So let us know if that works for them.
Yeah, I'm with you on the cool concept. I thought the execution was pretty bad and the movie was extremely boring. But I thought, as someone who's a hulked out monster of a man, Batista played he did a great job as being like this weird cult man. So I thought his performance was really good. But other than that, it was pretty boring.
The concept of of a family having to choose one person to kill to save the world is good enough to stand on its own if you do it well. And they didn't do it well. They did like they did one other thing. So they ended up doing two things poorly. It wasn't a good movie about like a gay couple surviving the horrors of the homophobia, around their relationship. So they did that poorly, and then they used that to interrupt another movie that they did poorly. The special effects were mostly non-existent. I think I've seen better on YouTube in 2008.
You have to play up the fact that it could be them just being insane psychopaths.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, or I guess you could just lean into the whole end of the world thing, but I thought it would be more interesting if they like really played it up like these people could just be, instead of having dreams or visions, they're hallucinating. Maybe they're whatever high. I don't know, but it kind of gives you like that what if.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. The problem with that is trying to show it. You with the way they did like the news and everything like that. You either have to have the visions be really vague, which makes you like, why are you believing in like a vague vision instead of getting medication? Or it's like, no, these visions are so accurate it has to be true. It's really hard to walk that middle ground because what they built was it made it seem like those four people were running a con, right?
Yep.
Like they just really messed up one like really smart serial killer with like some, I don't know, like psychedelics and like three unstable people that he met and like kind of coached through. Yeah. Like that's the most likely event. Like if I'm in real life and Dave Bautista shows up they had really weird weapons. Like one chick had like a mallet with some rope and then like another mallet on it. Just use a stick. What are you talking about? But if Dave Bautista showed up with like a pitchfork and that had a machete taped to it for some fucking reason, right. I'm gonna think, okay, this guy is monumentally crazy. There would never be a moment where I'm like, oh, maybe it's real. How does M. Night Shyamalan manage to have such interesting concepts and put them together so poorly?
Right.
I mean, it's really impressive, the fact that this could happen twice. Right. Much less like 6 times. It's like, no, this time, guys, it's not going to be stupid at the end. Oh, God, it was stupid at the end again. Who could have thunk it?
And all the flashbacks.
Oh, God, the flashbacks. Okay, I forgot about the flashbacks. Those are rough flashbacks, man. It's like, the world's ending. Who the fuck cares? You got yelled at at a taxi. I had a bad day at the bus stop, guys.
Yeah, to a guy that may or may not have hit you with a bottle because you're gay. Possibly, but probably not.
That was the flashback. That flashback and the hospital ones were the only ones that were okay. Like the awkward dinner. They had like a 4-minute awkward dinner flashback. The apocalypse is happening, and I'm watching a flashback about an awkward dinner.
And one of the gay guys' dads was really against it. The parents, they didn't say anything at dinner, and the other guy's mother was really into it. And like, I don't care. Just like this whole cabin situation is interesting. Stop showing me the people hate the gay or whatever you want to say.
The only flashback that could have been worse is if they gotten a flat tire on the way there, and like the tow truck driver that brought them a new tire was looking at them weird. And then he was like, so are you guys like her uncles or something? And he's just like standing there having like an awkward conversation while he's not like jacking up the car. Just like standing next to the jack, just like... And it just goes on for a while. Like, is he going to change the tire or what?
I'm not going to jack up this tire because it might get y'all aroused.
I'm going to bend over to plug this tire. You better not do nothing to me.
It better be the only thing that's getting plugged.
It just make some like straight up like 2003 Comedy Central jokes, but now they're horrific. I'm back on board. I want to see the tow truck flashback now.
You want to move on to ratings and numbers and shit?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's not terrible.
No.
I'm gonna give it like a 6 out of 10. I think.
I'm right there with you. 6 out of 10, and I think the premise holds a lot of interest for me. I think a rewatch would be pretty bad. Probably knock it down quite a bit. 6.4. or sorry. 13,000 plus ratings on IMDb for a 6.4 out of 10. So right there with us.
Yeah.
The numbers are pretty decent on this movie. So it's been out for a little over a week as of recording and has made $17 million domestically, $7.9 million internationally for a total of $25.2 million on a production budget of 20. So, all right, let's wrap this shit up. Let us know what you think about Knock at the Cabin. Did you see it? Did you like it?
Do you want to build the movie up or do you want to knock it?
All right, so on that note, we'll catch you guys later.